I'm not really worried about the Tom fight. I'm really worried about the Pereira fight. That's what I want to do. Like, I'm at a place now where, you know, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my value doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger. I want Pereira.
Jon Jones says he's not interested in fighting Tom Aspinall because, in his words, Aspinall isn't worth the risk. Instead, the UFC heavyweight champ has his sights set on Alex Pereira, someone just as dangerous, but with a bigger fan base and guarantees a fatter paycheck. Some think Jones has earned the right to make these calculated moves, but others believe his hesitation to face Aspinall comes from a deeper fear of the British butcher. Is Jones really scared of Aspinall? Let's find out. Tom Aspinall is an absolute monster who's been tearing through heavyweights from the very beginning of his career. The man can do it all. He can strike, he can box, he can wrestle, he can submit people, and he's extremely powerful.
I think Tom will do the same thing to Jon Jones as what he did to Marcin Tybura. I don't think there's anyone that can stop Tom Aspinall.
You see this guy moving like Muhammad Ali? You don't run towards Muhammad Ali like that. He's gonna catch him, bro. Ooh. Oh! Oh, just no more. He's not even doing nothing. This kid, oh my gosh.
Tom Aspinall's MMA journey kicked off in 2014 with a bang as he made a statement by dismantling Michael Piszczek in just 15 seconds, leaving him flat on his back and pounding his way into the spotlight. Just 4 months after his explosive debut, Aspinall stepped into the cage at Bama 18 in February 2015 to face Ricky King. From the opening bell, Aspinall came out like he had a bus to catch, swinging wild punches that didn't quite land. The fight quickly moved to the clinch against the cage, where King executed a picture-perfect slam, putting Aspinall on his back. But just as King looked to rain down some ground and pound, Aspinall snatched his heel and cranked it with precision, forcing a tap and showing the world that he's as dangerous on the ground as he is standing.
These men used to go in the distance and it was Aspinall that threw a big left and right. King in all sorts of danger, he's trying to punch his way out of there. There's the tap. You were right, Nick. Unbelievable.
Aspinall sent his next opponent to the dark land in just 9 seconds.
Good combinations. Oh, big shot! And he's out! And it's all over!
Aspinall's early MMA career was more of a slow simmer than a rapid boil. With just 9 fights in 5 years, he racked up 7 wins and 2 losses before finally landing in the UFC. Once in the world's top MMA promotion, Aspinall steamrolled the competition so convincingly that even the heavyweight GOAT, Jon Jones, now seems unwilling to share the octagon with him. It all began on UFC Fight Island 3 in July 2020, where Aspinall made his debut against Jake Collier. The Brit started slower than usual, likely feeling out the moment, but he still tested Collier with crisp 1-2s. Collier fired back with a couple punches and a kick, but Aspinall's speed, precision, and slick movement were on another level. And just 40 seconds in, the big Brit saw his opening and unleashed his signature 1-2 combo, putting Collier to sleep and making a thunderous first impression in the UFC.
I just have so much that I've not shown, and people don't know what to expect. Nobody's got any idea.
It's unbelievable the potential that this man has, the capability that he has, the skill, the size, the athleticism, the speed. We know all about that.
Another win later, Aspinall had already cemented himself as a hot prospect in the UFC, earning enough trust to face a true test in former champion Andrei Arlovski in February 2021. In round 1, Aspinall came out firing, landing heavy shots that had Arlovski pinned against the fence, eating a barrage of punches to the head and body. Somehow, the veteran absorbed it all, looking like a human punching bag that refused to go down. In round 2, Aspinall decided to change the script, as he took Arlovski to the mat near the fence, quickly took his back, and in a matter of seconds, forced the champ to tap out.
Exactly. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. They call it the rub. where it's like you fight someone good and they like rub something onto you and you get the good thing. So I feel like I've got some of the rub tonight, and that's what I mean. I'd like to fight someone else experienced maybe.
Aspinall's like a heavyweight version of George St. Pierre. He's unbelievable. Right, he's going to go a very long way. He's going to have an incredible career.
Aspinall's UFC ascent continued in September 2021 with a big step up against Moldovan heavyweight standout Sergey Spivak.
Yeah, I consider him as a really tough opponent. He has certain strength, power, explosiveness, and he's completing fights early. So yeah, I consider him as a serious opponent for me.
For the first minute and a half, Aspinall kept it technical, using feints and sharp jabs to push Spivak onto the back foot. But as the clock neared the second minute, Aspinall turned up the heat, landing crisp two-punch combos that forced Spivak into desperation mode with a takedown attempt. Aspinall wasn't having it as he stuffed the shot, worked in the clinch, and broke free with a brutal elbow that sent Spivak's eyes spinning like a slot machine before he crumbled to the canvas. A few seconds later, the referee stepped in, and Aspinall was once again victorious in style.
How did it play out?
It wasn't what I expected, to be honest. I expected a long fight because this guy is so durable.
Tom Aspinall, that motherfucker is dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so fucking quick and explosive for that weight.
The competition got a lot tougher for Tom Aspinall as he faced perennial heavyweight contender Alexander Volkov in a colossal UFC London headliner, his first time in the spotlight, and in his home country no less.
Sport and stuff. They think that I'm just good at certain things, and it's not that I'm just good at certain things. I've just not had the opportunity to show what I am good at because I've been in the octagon for such a small amount of time.
He wasn't unknown fighter to me. I was watching him, and he have big names that he beat. He beat Andrei Arlovsky, and I was watching him during the fight. And after this, he was very interesting opponent, very hard one. And I love this kind of fight when the young and coming and powerful opponent coming. It forces me to evolve above myself. And this kind of fights is my favorite.
Aspinall wasted no time, landing a slick combination early. Volkov fired back with a leg kick, but Aspinall quickly made his mark with a massive takedown, delivering some brutal ground and pound before threatening with submissions. Volkov managed to scramble back to his feet, but Aspinall wasn't about to let him off the hook. The Brit slipped under a Volkov punch, secured a second takedown, and transitioned to an armbar, locking it in tight and finishing the fight in an instant.
I moving his head like a professional fighter. I saw a guy throwing the right punches, not with the big loops in them like we see with some of the guys. Nice, straight, fundamental, solid punches, accurate punches with decent hand speed. I thought I was watching a heavyweight prospect for a minute there. In my business, is going to be able to deliver at its best with balance, and that kind of position. I saw a guy moving his head like a professional fighter.
He's different, man. For a heavyweight, the speed, explosiveness, the way that guy moves, and power, 100% finish rate. Yeah, he's a bad boy.
Just 4 months later, Aspinall returned to the cage to face top contender Curtis Blades, but fate had other plans. The fight was shaping up to be a battle of wills until disaster struck. Aspinall suffered a knee injury early in the fight, forcing the referee to call a heartbreaking TKO loss. Less than a year later, Aspinall made a thunderous comeback at UFC London against Marcin Tybura.
His ground game, I saw his impressive performance with Alexander Volkov. So he's very good. I knew his ground game is on such a high level before.
Because he's won 7 of his last 8 in the rankings as a heavyweight. That's a pretty good record, mate, if you ask me. And he's very durable. He doesn't quit, which is pretty rare for a heavyweight. Usually when heavyweights start to get a little bit tired, they start to look for a way out, and he definitely doesn't. He's got loads and loads of experience, and I've took him extremely seriously.
From closer to a title shot.
Who would be the toughest? Tom Aspinall, for sure. Yeah, I experienced his power, and yeah, he's the toughest one.
With 7 wins out of 8 in the UFC, Tom Aspinall had firmly planted himself as one of the top contenders in the heavyweight division when fate stepped in, giving him an early shot at some gold, or more accurately, silver. By the time Tom Aspinall made his return to the cage, Jon Jones had already claimed the heavyweight title and was scheduled to defend it against Stipe Miocic at UFC 295. But when Jones was forced to pull out due to injury, the UFC turned to Aspinall, giving him the opportunity to face Sergey Pavlovich on short notice for the interim heavyweight title.
I'm fighting the scariest guy in MMA, in my opinion, in the worst circumstances possible without a training camp. But I obviously think I can win. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who shows up for money or who, you know, I ain't signing a contract and showing up if I don't think I'm going to win.
On fight night, Tom wasted no time making a statement, rocking Sergey Pavlovich early with his razor-sharp punches before unleashing a relentless fury to finish the job, claiming the interim heavyweight title in explosive fashion.
Interim title fight, Tom Aspinall gets called off the couch to fight Sergey Pavlovich, right? It's the world that we live in. You gotta keep up.
That's good, man.
Aspinall then beats Sergey Pavlovich. So now the guy that is the #1 contender essentially is out. It is a new guy, a more dangerous, more scary guy.
No, he is special. He is absolutely, positively special.
With a dominant win over Pavlovich and the interim title now in his grasp, Tom Aspinall was primed for the next chapter and ready to face the GOAT.
Yes, but Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, fucking interesting.
What happens, you know, he will be the champion of the world. Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion. He's an incredible fighter. You know, he's incredible. He's one of the greatest of all time. I don't think he can hold a candle to Tom. I think Tom will do the same thing to Jon Jones as what he did to Marcin Tybura. I don't think there's anyone that can stop Tom Aspinall.
With Jon Jones still sidelined by injury and focused on facing Stipe Miocic instead of unifying the title against Aspinall, the Brit found himself defending his interim belt against Curtis Blades, who recognized the Brit as the real champion of the division.
Sorry, I don't think he's actually on a heavyweight. I'm sorry, I don't. So, yeah, I view Aspinall as the guy with the real belt.
Who do you consider to be the best heavyweight in the world right now?
Aspinall, 100%. Like, the boy looks good. Like, there's nothing bad you can say about him in the octagon. Absolutely nothing bad.
Blades turned out to be one of Aspinall's easier challenges as Tom dropped the towering American with a clean right hand, then pounced in a flash, finishing him off with ruthless efficiency to successfully defend his interim heavyweight title. With another huge victory under his belt, Aspinall wasted no time in calling out Jon Jones.
Don't fight Jon Jones. Or Stipe. Let's not discredit Stipe and what he's done.
If Aspinall's call-out wasn't enough to ruffle some feathers, the pressure on Jon Jones only intensified as the MMA community began to rally behind the Brit, openly declaring Aspinall the real champion.
I think Tom Aspinall is the best.
Champion of this weight class is Tom Aspinall, and it's not even fucking debatable.
The growing chorus of support for Tom put even more heat on Jones, pushing the narrative that he was now the one avoiding the real challenge.
I'll be ready to step in, mate, in November if someone gets injured, which is quite likely, let's be honest. So I'll be ready, mate. I'm ready to fight whenever.
I've said before that he could smoke Jon Jones. I've said before that Jon Jones couldn't hold a candle or hold a torch to Tom Aspinall. And I respect Jon Jones and I like Jon Jones. And you've got to remember the run that he had and the great achievements that he's had in this incredible sport. But I believe what we saw tonight from Tom Aspinall and what we see every time from Tom Aspinall, I believe that beats anybody.
Jon Jones is the GOAT, you know what I mean? He's the best of all time. But if anyone's going to give him a fight, it's Tom Aspinall. You know what I mean? He's got the speed, he's got the jiu-jitsu, he's got the power. But I don't think Jones will fight him.
Despite the mounting pressure, Jon Jones stood his ground, sticking to his plan to face Stipe Miocic at UFC 309, which Aspinall didn't really appreciate.
Obviously, he's going to want to take that fight before me, because it's easier, way easier, way easier. And he knows that I'm the tougher fight for him.
As the fight drew closer, Bones threw verbal jabs at Aspinall, fueling the fire and adding even more heat to their growing rivalry.
Completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an asshole that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying, And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot, but he's just an asshole.
At UFC 309, Jon Jones put on a dominant performance, absolutely dismantling Stipe Miocic to secure his first title defense. But when the question about a potential title fight against Aspinall came up, Jones shot it down, admitting that it was a high-risk and low-reward fight.
To me, and that's my own personal, he annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying, and I just don't like him. And at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say I want that fuck you money. Like, I'm at a place now where, you know, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my value doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger. I want Pereira.
Jones' reluctance to face Aspinall left many pros shaking their heads in disappointment.
Jon Jones, and don't take me wrong, I respect Jon Jones.
The potential matchup between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall would be an absolute banger. That is, if it actually happens. On one side, you had the greatest of all time, who has destroyed every challenge he's faced. On the other side, there's an up-and-coming heavyweight star with all the tools to cause trouble. Aspinall's a physical specimen. He's big, strong, with flawless boxing and deadly timing, paired with grappling that could rival anyone in the division. He's got everything you need to make a serious run at the title. But despite his incredible talent, Aspinall's name just doesn't carry the same weight as some of the UFC's other marquee fighters, like Alex Pereira, and that's a major factor in Jones' reluctance to fight him. With less than 1 million followers on Instagram, Aspinall is still working on building his brand and fan base. Sure, followers don't mean anything once the cage door closes, but in today's business-driven world, they play a big role. More followers means more attention. And more attention means more money for everyone involved. The harsh reality of modern-day fight promotions is that without a huge social media presence, even the most talented fighters can struggle to draw the same level of interest. For Jon Jones, the stakes of a fight with Aspinall simply don't make sense from a financial or legacy-building standpoint. Even if Jones wins, the credit would be minimal because Aspinall, while a talented up-and-comer, doesn't yet have the star power to make Jones' victory feel like a legendary moment. On the flip side, if Jones loses, the fallout would be massive. The MMA community would be stunned, and the reputation of the GOAT could take a huge hit. Aspinall's a much riskier opponent for Jones due to his rapid-fire boxing and elite grappling, both of which could pose significant challenges. Why risk your legacy and your record when there's a fight out there that promises more money with less risk? That's where Alex Pereira comes in. Pereira is a massive draw with a large fan base. The matchup against Pereira promises millions of viewers, and it's a payday that's hard to ignore. Not only that, but Pereira's wrestling defense is considered a weak point in his game, which gives Jones a huge advantage. With Jones' elite grappling skills, he can exploit that weakness and make the fight look easier than it would be against a fighter like Aspinall, who has more well-rounded skills. For Jones, it's not just about legacy anymore. He's already cemented himself as the greatest of all time. He's conquered everyone, including former champions like Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic. And there's not much left for him to prove in terms of skill. The only thing left is making big money fights. With a fight against Pereira, the UFC can guarantee a huge audience, big pay-per-view numbers, and a massive payday for everyone involved. Why go for a riskier, less rewarding fight against Aspinall when there's a more lucrative, favorable option on the table? The bottom line is this: Jon Jones is not ducking Tom Aspinall. He's just making decisions that fit the business side of the sport. It's all about money and legacy. Aspinall's time will come, but For now, the business side of MMA doesn't align with the Jones-Aspinall showdown, and the only way it can happen is if Dana White throws a lot of cash Jones' way to make it happen. Will Dana White make it happen? What do you guys think? Is Jon Jones really ducking Tom Aspinall, or is he just making the best business decision for his career? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.